Like me, Lucitan believes healthy skin is the first step to a beautiful, natural tan. After 17 years working in the beauty and skincare industry, sisters Leah, Lindsay and Sarah knew their mission when they started creating a skin health tanning brand. As new moms, they realised the importance of fewer chemicals, more nutrients and antioxidants like vitamin A and E, as well as comprising a ritual application process that took the stress, stickiness and nasty smells out of our faux glow experience. They have even created the Bloom collection, especially for our blooming mamas. We salute you, ladies. If you want to find the perfect tanning product for you, head to luso.com and take a 5-minute quiz, or better still, request a Luso spray tan in your local beauty salon. Thank you so much to all the team at Luso for bringing you today's episode of Skin Deep by Karina Tolan. You are very welcome to today's episode of Skin Deep by Karina Tolan. It's great to have you here. I'm joined today by author of The Skin Science Warrior, Shawna Akin Wiesner, and it is an absolute pleasure to have her here on today's episode. You know, I, like you, am often seeking new information and important information and vital information on skin and skin health, and I even get confused and my mind boggles many times when I hear conflicting information. So when I started to read this book, I wanted to stand up and jump for joy at the turn of almost every page. Constantly, and you guys would have seen on my social media platforms, constantly screenshotting and uploading quotes and information from it because it is absolutely full of skin facts and truths. And that's exactly why I couldn't wait to get Shawna on today's episode. She is a master esthetician and educator, and I have no doubt that by the time you have finished listening to today's episode, you too will be truly educated on what it takes to have beautiful, healthy skin for a lifetime. Well, so I have with me today Miss Shawna Akin Wiesner, author of The Skin Science Warrior, which is an absolutely formidable book. Highly recommend it. I find whenever I'm reading it, and it's a book I keep going back to, I'm taking screenshots and I'm posting photographs on my Instagram. Shawna, it's an absolute pleasure to have you here today. Thank you so much for joining me. Where are you joining me from?
I'm joining you from Charleston, South Carolina in the United States. Thank you so much for having me. I've been so excited for this.
Yeah, me too. And I hope it's the beginning of many. I'd hope to think that we would meet up like this many times. So tell me about you. Where are you from and your background into the skin industry? What landed you in the skin industry and when?
So it's quite interesting. I'm originally from Colorado, but I was in the ballet. So I went to high school in San Francisco, then moved to New York and was professional for many, many years. And when I was retiring, I had a facial, had sort of an out-of-body experience and was sort of enamored with this woman, like, what is she doing? And it's so abstract, right? I thought, can you make a living doing that? Is that what I'm going to do when I quit dancing? And it was just something like dancing. I felt it. It was instinctual, and it's detail, it's art, it's beauty, it's connecting with people. So I thought, okay, let's go for it. Wow. That's what happened.
Yeah, I love that. So tell me about your beginning into the industry. How did it come about?
So, being the personality that I am, super A, I went to the best school. I decided before I got out of school, I was going to work for a plastic surgeon. So I started pounding the streets. And in those days in the United States, this is in Seattle, Washington, they didn't have a lot of our type of people working with surgeons. Mm-hmm. So I actually did a proposal to a surgeon. And during that time, I met someone who said, oh, there's a surgeon, Dr. Winchell, who just moved from the East Coast, who was looking for, he called them medical skincare specialists, is what the term he used. Okay. So I went and met with him, but the thing is his daughter was a ballerina, and he had lived in Edmonton, Canada, and I had danced in Edmonton, Canada. So we had these kind of weird, coincidences, right? And, he knows the discipline, he knows the drive, the ethics, he knows how dancers are. So he hired me even before I got out of school. So that's how I started. He was my first boss.
Wow, you are so blessed to go in that medical route because, well, for me, I feel like I'm I have a medical approach to skincare, very much a science back, which you do too. I actually feel so many similarities in how we think and how we operate, really. So you were really, really blessed to have that medical insight, but then to still bring all your thinkings and beliefs to the arena.
Yeah, so that's what was difficult for me, because I couldn't understand, there were different things like, be nice to the epidermis, but how do you change the dermis? And I was kind of like split between these two worlds. And, how do we do this and respect the organ? And working with a surgeon like that, he was very much like, it's science, science, science. Don't give people anything that's not backed by science. And he was pretty much like, from the beginning, vitamin A, but it was the medical form of vitamin A, right?
Okay.
And he really didn't believe in anything else. So I started off on a really good foot.
Wow. Which, I can totally appreciate, because once you are introduced to the power of vitamin A and how important that singular molecule is for healthy skin, it's hard to step away from it.
Yeah, but people couldn't comply, and I didn't understand the significance of it. I didn't understand the domination of it. It was good information, but most patients couldn't comply. And myself, even, I used Tazarac, and I had red marks in my nasolabial folds all the time.
Yeah. So what you're saying is people couldn't comply because of how incredibly irritating retinoic acid is.
Yeah, and they get more wrinkled before they look better.
Yeah.
So there was that scenario, and it's just on vacation they got to drop it. If they're going to do procedures, at the time we thought they needed to drop it. So lots of issues with that.
Yeah, I'm going to skip straight ahead, seeing as we've just gone into vitamin A. We can reel it back in a bit. Yeah, why not? Who are we kidding? We were always going to go straight here, weren't we? So I'll tell you why, and this is why I was so excited, Shawna, to have you on here with me today, because only recently I came across a podcast from an Australian company, I guess, and I think the podcast was titled like The Truth About Vitamin A, and I got so excited, and I was like, yay, I'm going to, exactly, except it absolutely wasn't. It was all complete misinformation, and I was like, I find the whole thing so incredibly frustrating, with vitamin A, because, if you think skins in the East Coast of America struggle with retinoic acid, Northern European and Celtic skins really struggle with it. And I just want to make sure people know is you don't have to work with those very irritating forms of vitamin A. They actually don't even bring any major benefits. I often explain to my clients, it's like constantly shouting at children. You're just going to end up with an adult in therapy. Exactly. It's the daily consistent whispers that lead to healthy minded adults in the future. So let's go straight back to vitamin A and talk about, there's many different types of vitamin A, and how crucial is vitamin A for healthy skin?
Well, it is the dominant molecule. It controls about 1,000 or plus genes in our DNA, and it is really I call it the conductor of an orchestra as skin cell communication. It's going to signal or lead, protein production and synthesis and all kinds of things. And it's going to read it from the blueprint. So that's what the vitamin A is doing, and keeping that blueprint healthy and keeping those things connected instead of binding on one side, the chromosomes. So, and also vitamin A, you were talking about form. So this is what very interesting. I was talking to a derm here, and she said, patients are really used to the, a little bit stronger. And I said, you mean the effects of acids or alcohol on skin? I said, actually, they're all equal IU to IU. And why DES is so brilliant and Environ's so brilliant is what we want to do is stockpile it in the skin. We want to use something that's usable, skin-friendly, non-irritating. Retinol at higher levels is also cytotoxic to cell walls. So he's brilliant. He is the apex of vitamin A. And we know that Dr. Ernst Estlund said recently that the only thing that's going to happen in the future is incremental changes, like with AI, or they're going to do some gene therapy. But other than that, nothing's going to change. I mean, this is revolutionary. This is the future. You're not doing this, you're not practicing skincare at all, and you're doing your patients a disfavor.
Yeah. Absolutely. Vitamin A, as Des himself says, is as vital for healthy skin as oxygen is for life. And it is the greatest instigator of every synthesis within the cellular matrix. So, I see people reaching out for hyaluronic acid. I see people reaching out for collagen. I'm like, just make sure your vitamin A is on point. Or stem cells, exactly. Yeah. Just make sure your vitamin A is on point, and it will nurture all of these intercellular communications within the cell. It will make your skin make healthy collagen. It will make your skin make healthy hyaluronic acid. So let's break it down. So vitamin A is in many, well, you have, of course, the fat soluble form, the water soluble form, the acidic form. So where do we even start? So I guess going back to what you said, IU to IU, international unit to international unit, they are all equal.
Right. They're equal potent. They end up being the same amount of retinoic acid, which you palmitate, propionate, acetate, retinol, retinaldehyde, all of those are going to become retinoic acid 1-to-1. The beauty of it is if you use different forms, which does, you have different isomeric variation on the nucleus of the cell. So that's why a lot of times he does it for stabilization in the formulations and reasons I don't understand, but he's very, very brilliant in his usage of vitamin A and how we can get the maximum dose in a step-up system so that the patient uses it twice a day. And that's really the key, is it's like putting money in the bank twice a day. That's much better than putting it in the bank once a week or every couple of days. You're going to be much richer if you do that, because the nucleus can only use about 3%. Isn't that what he says? 93%. And the thing too about vitamin A, you were just talking about, that all the stem cell stuff is vitamin A is the biggest potentiator of our stem cells, both our basal keratinocytes and our fibroblasts. And people don't understand that that's never going to change. Our physiology is not going to change.
And going back to the importance of daily application or twice daily application, the one thing about the skin and the eyes, as was pointed out to me recently, as opposed to your kidneys and your lungs, is yes, there is vitamin A in all your organs. However, with the skin, your skin has been exposed to light, and light vitamin A is destroyed by light. So therefore, the one thing that's happening every day, unless of course you're buried in a basement cell with no windows, is you're exposed to light.
I tried.
Yeah. Well, no one said beauty is a pain. But so the one thing that's happening consistently every day is you are being exposed to light. So therefore, the vitamin A in your skin is being depleted every day. And that's ultimately what causes a skin to turn from healthy to unhealthy. And that can also be interpreted as aging as well. If you're lucky, it's aging. And if you're very unfortunate, it's unhealthy and then potentially can turn cancerous. So what's happening there with your vitamin A is we have this vitamin A. It's almost like, and this is why I think it's really important to put so much emphasis on how potent and how effective vitamin A is, international unit to international unit, because a chemical conversion occurs once you apply it onto the skin. And one of two things are going to happen is the vitamin cell, the cell is going to use it, therefore it will convert it into retinoic acid within a matter of seconds. Some people think, that takes so much longer to work, it takes so much longer to be effective. It's important to point out that chemical conversions in the body take seconds. We're not talking about days, weeks or months here, literally seconds. Or alternatively, your skin may choose to store it, in which case it's going to turn it into palmitate. So it's either going one direction or it's going the other. There's no in between. So no matter what type of vitamin A, that's a skin factory does all that. So no matter what type of vitamin A you choose to invest your money in, it's going to go either of those two directions.
Yes. Yeah. And that's the thing that does really, his research is there's nothing like that. And, this is so important to the world because really the worst form of sun damage is skin cancer.
Yeah.
So, and that can be prevented with, replenishing those nutrients, primarily vitamin A every day and C. And we can have child skin. I used to say euthanize skin, but youthify skin, not euthanize skin.
Yeah. And so, why do you think people do you think the industry wants to confuse people?
I don't think they know.
Okay.
I honestly, and that's why I wrote the book, because my journey was about finding the truth. I'm like, why are there no consistent theories? Why is there no science? Why is somebody not telling me exactly how this works, exactly what I need? Every other week, there's something new, something trendy, but yet our physiology hasn't changed. It's been stable. It needs, like our bones need the same things. Why would our skin be? And I just didn't ever understand. And most of it was vendor driven and marketing driven. Yes. And my first boss was like, science papers, but not all science papers are science papers. So, this was the thing. And it wasn't until I met these Danes who were using ester forms they stole from Des's research and ended up following along, figuring this out, that I found Environ. And then I was sitting there and I was like, had an out of body experience again. I go, oh my God, this is it. I found the Holy Grail. I found it makes me legitimate. I now can practice with legitimacy.
Yeah. And also, an authenticity and almost a clear conscience.
Yes.
Because you know that you are putting on a client on a journey to beautiful, healthy skin for a lifetime.
A real role that I think does created for us is we do his work by, our one-on-one treatment and that journey that we take them on, exactly what you said. And I think I love aesthetics. I still have my own clinic and I still see people for 20 years or plus, and they have trusted me along. And now that they have environment, like, where was that before, So huge changes, huge.
Yeah, because, like, there's no need to irritate the skin or compromise the epidermis, in the pursuit of healthy skin. It's not even conducive to healthy skin because, of course,
that's what Americans do.
I know. And I remember as a kid watching that on the Oprah Winfrey show where they would be speaking about tretinoin and prescription vitamin A. But like, it's not even conducive to healthy skin because, of course, retinoic acid makes the skin light sensitive as well. We're already light sensitive without amplifying that.
Exactly. And people just don't know that. In fact, a lot of physicians don't understand the storage concept.
Yeah.
They don't understand that the medical form can't do that process of reverse hydrolysis, that cannot be stored. So whatever you use, you only use a small amount and the rest of it spills out into extracellular space. As you said, it gets metabolized right away. So, you really have far less levels. The higher levels you have, as you were saying, the better you're going to look. And I look way different than I did when I was using the medical form. Way different, like
really?
Years better. Yeah.
Well, I'd never used anything other than Environ, but I started using
like that.
Yeah. So. I started using it when I was maybe 26, 27.
Oh my God.
I know. And I just can't believe how well my skin is aging. Like when I look at photographs of my wedding.
Amazing.
Yeah, absolutely. Like in many ways, I think my skin looks better today, which is weird.
Oh no, I've had people tell me that I look way different than I did even when in my 30s. And I'm like 105 now. So it's
too great. But like you said, it's that pursuit of healthy skin for a lifetime. In your book, you said healthy looking skin contributes more to a youthful look than tighter skin. Can you explain that? Because I think sometimes people, I don't want to say don't want to put the work in, but it's like they want the fast results. So they think I'll just pull it back. Now I have no problem with pulling it back, but let's try and pull back healthy skin as opposed to unhealthy skin. Let's try, augmenting our putting fillers into healthy skin. Let's try freezing if you want Botox, but let's freeze healthy skin. So talk to us about that. Healthy looking skin contributes more to a youthful look than tighter skin.
Well, I always, a joke of mine that's in the book too, is I say, who wants to put in Hermes wallet in a Walmart bag? The Walmart bag being your skin and this beautiful thing underneath it. So, really the look of youth is healthy skin, more than anything, more than, tight lifted. It's that suppleness. It's that reflectiveness. It's that, skin tone, even skin tone. Like my grandmother, she stayed out of the sun. She was beautiful when she was quite old. And, it's really because she didn't have that deficiency going on. And, I used to see some of those facelifts when people weren't on skincare and they were still completely wrinkled. They were still ruddy. Their skin it looked terrible. So this is the canvas, it's the number one thing. And then the scaffolding can be worked on as you like. Yeah. You could go through your whole life, as Des says, into your 70s, 80s with beautiful skin and never need anything else.
Yeah. Absolutely. And I think what's important as well is that when you're looking for that youthful effect, that it's never one modality. It's always synergy. And that's exactly what's happening when you use a molecule like vitamin A, because it is working on your hyaluronic acid synthesis. It is working on your collagen forms. It's evening out the texture, your stratum corneum. It's aligning the cells tightly together so you get a lovely glow. It's minimizing your pigmentation, so there's less sun damage. It's also protecting your skin from future sun damage. So it's all of the coming together of all of these things. That is what healthy skin is, as opposed to one thing.
Exactly. And I tell people exactly what you said. It is the foundational tool. It is the prime. If you're not, that has got to be at the base. No matter what else you do, that is the most critical thing. And you could run a whole practice just with a bottle of a step-up system, literally, right? Because 100%. You would be able to change people's skin for sure.
And Shawna, I often even say, like, it's not expensive because, again, I think our industry, you know, I was watching a TikTok. I'm a little bit obsessed with TikTok, and rightly so.
Stay away.
I know, you probably should. But the derm was saying to the client she had sebaceous hyperplasma, which, you know, is also a symptom of unhealthy skin. And she was saying, you're not using a retinoid. It's very obvious. I agreed with everything. So then she went on to recommend a retinoid. I also agreed with this as well. A retinoid being a vitamin A, retinoid being the umbrella term. But then when the one she recommended, I went on to Google and looked, and it was like $360. I was like, I know, wow, ridiculous. And, you know, then she went on to say, well, you only have to use it once or twice a week. And I'm like, see, that's all so frustrating to me because it's not expensive. When you look at Environ Skincare, like in reality, if budget is a huge issue, you could use the body oil on your face.
Yes. Head to toe.
Well, even if you just use it on your face, it's going to last so much longer. You could have the ingredients in there, like international unit wise, there's probably more vitamin A in that oil than what's in any prescription vitamin A. It's not going to irritate your skin. You've got palmitate and acetate in there as well. So boom. You've also got vitamin C and vitamin E. You've got your antioxidants.
Yep.
We've just done ourselves out of it. You know, we don't want to put that message out there because obviously we want people in our youth essential lines. We want people in our skin essential lines. But that is the reality. You know, it is obtainable for almost everybody to have healthy skin.
Yeah, and I think Des intentionally made it so, you know, and, you know, so because he wanted to help people. And this was the intention behind Environ and vitamin A too, is like, it's a critical, I mean, he has brought something. He's like the Da Vinci of our world. He's figured out something that is so beyond and above and so critical, but yet at the tip of our nose. And I was just going to say, there's a lot of misinformation, especially in the medical arena in the United States about vitamin A. And there was a very interesting article that was printed in Dermatology Times about how the substrate forms or the, you know, fat forms or alcohol did not, they were at best antioxidants and they had no effect on the nucleus. So Dr. Ernst took care of that and wrote that, and they redid the article. But that's frightening. She was the lead dermatologist at Duke University. She's the lead researcher. So that, I mean, what are they doing with their patients, sending them out the door that have precancers or cancers? I mean, they should be walking out the door with vitamin A, but that's very rare.
Yeah.
And did they not know that? Right?
I guess, like you said, this is just the tip of the iceberg. And I think in time,
we are the warriors.
We are the warriors. Yeah, for sure. We're the trailblazers.
Yeah, we're the knights in white jackets.
Yeah. Right? Absolutely. And that's why I want to get that message out there. And, you know, because it's so important. We must not forget, skin cancer is the fastest growing cancer in the world. Also, we've never used as much SPF as we're currently using. So why are we not winning the war? There's something missing.
Yeah, because people don't understand. Well, first of all, it's a screen, and they don't understand that the higher levels are actually causing oxidation in your skin because you have to add the chemicals. You need the inorganic reflective, and you need it with antioxidants, and you need lower doses because the higher doses just produce more oxidation. They're not really any more protected. Yeah. And people don't know that. Yeah. So the thing is they've got to have that vitamin A. The vitamin A will absorb those sun photons. We have the antioxidants to mitigate damage. And then we have that reflective zinc and titanium to help protect us. So people don't know this. In fact, I just sent the things you shared with me last night. Thank you to educate me to one of my clients who has been watching CNN and hearing all kinds of BS. About sun protection. Yeah. And people just don't understand. It's like the biggest selling huge thing, but there's no information out there.
But you see, Shawna, I hate saying it, but I think that's what it is. I think it's marketing. And I think it's you know, for that, it's for not financial reasons, financial gain. And I'm like, this has to stop because it's marketing, they're scaremongering. They think if you put the higher number on that you're more protective, but they're not actually educating the end user. They don't
actually know.
No, they don't. And they're using all these high chemical content creams that have huge potential to irritate your skin. And they're also using them on a compromised, unhealthy skin, be it inflammatory skin conditions or be it potentially precancerous skin cells. So we know, it's not just, you can't just use a cream and expect it to, you have to have lifestyle changes as well. You have to be, wear a hat, things like that, because, this is probably a podcast for another day, but also the sun depletes the effectiveness of any SPF from the minute you apply it. So it has to be reapplied every few hours. Des would be a strong advocate of keeping the number low, aka keeping the chemical content low, but reapplying it every two hours is so much much more effective than a high SPF rating.
Absolutely. And I think that that's just what you said. It's marketing. It's misinformation. It's strategy is to make the most money. And it really compromises the health of so many people. And the people don't know it. That's why I wrote the book too. I wrote it also for some consumers, even though there's a lot of technical pieces in that, to understand that there is something, foundationally that they need, and that they need to, the latest and the greatest is not it, it's only improvement on what we can enhance that's happening in the natural functions already.
Yeah, because commercialism drives so many industry, ours included.
It's our profession. Yes.
And we have to rein it back in. And that's why anyone who's truly passionate about healthy skin for themselves, their friends, their family, their children.
You're not.
They need to invest in this book. They need to educate themselves on how to have healthy skin responsibly, what it is that it takes. And this will really break it down. This is, and it's almost like a Bible. It's a reference book. They can keep going back to it. There's so much information in there, and it is really, really important, as opposed to spending that overinflated price on, an SPF that's only going to last you a couple of weeks, even at best. Now, there's so much more I want to talk to you about. Let's talk briefly about pregnancy and vitamin A, because again, a lot of mixed messages about that. First of all, what I will say about pregnancy with vitamin A is every pregnant mother is their own person. So ultimately make your own decision. But Shawna and I are going to tell you about factually what's safe and not safe. But even after that, you still make your own decision. That's what I say to people. Just you do you. I'm telling you it is safe, but you do you.
Because ultimately that's their decision. Yeah. But I tell people that that's misinformation, that there's no enzymatic process to go from skin to blood, only blood to skin, and that it's never going to be tetragenic, and that they actually need that. They may be lower doses if their skin is sensitive, maybe they would go down a little bit, but, I think you guys have finally taken out that insert Khalifa has about that recently. In the United States, they will forever say that, oh my God, you're going to cause, birth defects if you do that. But it actually does is like babies need good amounts of vitamin A as well. So there's a lot of actually internal vitamin A that people are lacking.
Yeah. I know I think the whole thing is put this shade or shadow on the molecule that's vitamin A. It's almost like it's this devil molecule for pregnancy.
I think that people stay away or don't praise it because it's so difficult to work with, and it's so difficult to understand, and they haven't seen Des's research. And so that's the thing, is they don't understand it. And how would it be so sexy? It's been around forever. You know what I mean? That there must be something else.
Yeah, like this aromatherapy oil
or whatever.
Yeah, absolutely. You've hit the nail on the head, Shawna. It's because it's ignorance, actually, is why people put out this wrong information. They just haven't taken the time to educate themselves.
I don't think they want to. I think they're going to go with whatever is easy. And that's what my book was. I just wouldn't take anything. I mean, I went from office to office to office because what are you doing? These people aren't getting better. What is wrong? There's something missing. Yeah. It was the forms. It was Des's work.
And, again, money, commercialism, that's, they're just there for what's making money. And actually, that's something about Environ Skincare that I always, admired. Let's say the Skin Essential ladder system, ABST 1 to 5. That's like commercial suicide. Whoever wants to make a cream and divide it into 5 parts? It's so much easier for anyone to make one cream and sell it to everybody. But Des knew that wasn't the true and authentic way to beautiful, healthy skin. So he took one moisturizer and divided it into 5 stages and asked you and I and everyone else who works with this molecule or this skincare line to manage their clients through this journey, to keep communication lines open. Like any other skincare line in the airport, they want your $300 and they never want to see you again.
Right. Yeah, no. And, the skin is a barrier. And that's another interesting thing. Des has really figured out how to do no harm and how to work with the barrier and how to have techniques for penetration and things that are, different wound healing cascades. I mean, it's just the cool peels and needling and all of these things are just so futuristic. But they were, 30 years ago, right?
Yeah, exactly. Before we had, but a little bit of me misses the good old days as well, when it was less spoken about, because I didn't have to fight so hard. I didn't have to shout so hard to get the truth across. Like it was just me and my lovely clients, my lovely team of fellow passionate skincare, and we had cocooned ourselves and we were all living happily ever after. And then suddenly with social media and everybody's talking about tretinoic acid and my clients are curious and now I have to bring people like you on to give a voice to what it is so we can preach really the message.
And really, these influencers, people, I have a real issue with that. Oh, I'm using the skincare. You know what? The people that are influencers are the people that know the science, the ones that can tell you how it works and why it works. And obviously, if you look at both of our skin, we know that it's working. So that's the thing is take it back to the professional. Take it back to, you know, the people that can provide you with the history, with the, you know, every answer that you need. And that's exactly what you said. It's just turned in, it's actually, it's like a hurricane.
Yeah.
And I want to stay in the center.
Yeah. I know. You know, I was only watching a YouTube marketing video for a massive world-renowned treatment brand, which I won't name. But if you listen to it, right, just when you were speaking about the skin barrier, the stratum corneum, the layers of the skin, in the YouTube video, it was like, and this will successfully ablate the stratum corneum. Like, I'm like, oh! Like,
I know.
who are you to take something that's God-given or, you know, made by Mother Nature and oblate it? It used a word even and proudly do it. Like, that's the message they want to put out. But if you're ablating your stratum corneum, why don't you ablate your left arm? You know?
Right, yeah.
Like, we need our stratum corneum and we need it intact.
That's a good analogy, actually. Yeah, because that is our protection against, you know, the radiation to our stem cells, really. Absolutely. And, you know, first and second and third line of defense.
And it homes our skin biome. You know, it keeps us healthy. It's such an important and vital layer of skin. You know, there's biologists that dedicate their whole career to the study of the stratum corneum.
Yeah,
you know,
it's amazing.
It's amazing. And, you know, also the outer layers of your skin are really a true reflection on how healthy your skin is.
Yes. Exactly. Especially your stratum spinosum, the thicker that is. And then you don't see the, you know, broken blood vessels and, you know, everything's more even, right?
Yeah.
So
absolutely. You lock down that outer barriers and there's no inflammation coming through. There's no infection getting in, you know, pathogens upsetting your skin. You know, you're susceptible to everything when your outer layers are compromised. So
no, I love that. Oh, go ahead.
No, go. Oh, okay. So explain, we skipped straight to question 7 within 5 seconds of coming on. Let's talk to after vitamin A. So vitamin A, of course, is the most important. And only recently I heard a derm talk about this and I was like, oh, finally, a medic speaking my language. And he said that after that, the most important is antioxidants. And they are so important. So talk to us about antioxidants and their role in skincare. And I think really they're okay, SPF, yes, for UVB, but if you want to protect yourself from UV aging, you need to look at antioxidants.
Yes, absolutely, because we want to mitigate the damage before it even starts to hit the skin, because the, you know, vitamin A is going to help absorb it. It'll get denatured or deactivated by that. But the antioxidants are really the thing. Des says, right, subatomic and molecular damage, right? The subatomic is when the free radical damage, you erode the cell walls, you start degrading cells and things like that. And the molecular one is the vitamin A and getting those, the DNA and everything set. So really antioxidants are part of that because they're doing so many other things, so many pathways of oxidation or of free radical damage. And that if we can stop the damage before it comes and then fix the damage when it gets there, that's what does. Yeah.
And that's, of course, the role of antioxidants. I know, he's like our hero, which he is, of course. I love that you refer to him to be like Leonardo da Vinci. That's like, yes.
I'm Des Seipel, D-E-S Seipel.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah, yep.
Oh, he has 12, so maybe can I do it then too?
Yes.
I'll be his Irish one.
Yes, for sure.
So that's antioxidants. And, you know, I even explain to some people as well, you know, when they complain, let's say about blackheads. Blackheads are just oxidized sebum. So that's where the role of antioxidants. And if you ever wanted to see for sure what free radicals do to us, just peel an avocado and leave it on the counter. The reason why it degrades is free radicals. Add an antioxidant and that won't happen. So literally our antioxidants are like our banana skin or our avocado skin that we're wearing every day.
That's so well said. That's I love. Yeah. You don't want a brown avocado, right?
No, absolutely not. Like degrade. And that's, you know what, Shawna, when I put people onto a journey to beautiful, healthy skin, so let's say when I start them on our Eutecentia or AVST1, the first thing I will see, and it happens almost immediately, like within days, not even weeks or months, is the color of their skin will go from a dull gray to a peachy pink. And that's because they now have antioxidants.
Yes.
Because the vitamin A wouldn't even have time to influence the new cells coming up at this point. But what we've just done is we have stopped free radical attack on your skin.
Yeah, that's so true. I didn't even really think about that.
Yeah.
And
that's exactly, so aging,
yeah.
like a dull grey skin. I don't know why, but I feel I see it in men more than women. Maybe because their skin is thicker. I look at some men and I'm like, oh my God, you just need antioxidants and vitamin A. And all your problems will go away.
Yeah. And that's the thing, is it's just such a simple thing. And really what we do is so life-changing for people. I mean, we address them on so many levels with what we do, but, just getting up in the morning and looking at your skin and actually seeing nice color or a glow or just feeling good about yourself is just such a gift. Not only the cancer and all the other, avoiding of skin conditions. It's just a gift. I mean, it's a real gift.
And that's why when I spoke about having that youthful effect or that anti-aging effect, you're looking for that synergistic approach. And again, the color of the skin is one thing that can be very aging. So when you throw that into the mix as well, you now have a much more peachy, pinky skin cell. That's adding to that youthful effect. And like for men alone, even if a man just used AVST1 and I'm saying that even if a man, because sometimes I find men are a little bit lazier and not as committed to a skincare program. So even if they never came off AVST1, they would still be doing themselves a massive favor, but also still doing way more than 99% of the population.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And really the thing is, our work is so important because I feel like it's spreading the word. We have a very important thing to do, and it's really skin health, and it's the way to get it and the way to, have beautiful skin.
Yeah.
So.
Do you know what, Shawna? I'm actually laughing here to myself, right? Because I'm almost certain that my husband, who would never want to mow the grass, has decided when I'm in the middle of recording a podcast to mow the lawn. Just let me check one moment. And that's through my headphones.
Okay.
No, it's the estate management company. I was like, he is not mowing that lawn when he knows what I'm doing.
That's hilarious.
I know. He'd be like, now she can never say I didn't do it. I actually done it during one of her podcasts. Sorry about that, my love. So that is, of course, yeah. So you agree with me, like with AVST1, like I even say AVST1 alone is a far superior product with potentially more vitamin A than most other, let's say, retinol products on the market.
Absolutely. And the thing too, just talking about antioxidants and how crucial they are. What is there? Like beta carotene, there's green tea, rooibos, honeybush, resveratrol. Oh my gosh, just an AVST1, right? So that's really, you could have a whole skincare line on any of those ingredients, right?
Yeah.
Resveratrol.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's what people don't understand. He just gave us everything.
Everything. And like this single ingredient marketing ploy is absolute rubbish. It's not good for your wallet. It's not good for your skin, and it is not good for the planet.
Right. And I don't know if you suffer with this over there, but, with the rollers, the cosmetic rollers, people, they're sold everywhere and, I'm doing rolling at home. Well, they don't understand what that is. You know what I mean? And it's just so frustrating because, Des has just figured out how to get more A in our skin in a few different ways. And,
okay, so I'm going to ask you to explain to the person who hasn't a clue what a microneedling device is for. Let's say at 0.2 or 0.1 or even 1 millimeter in depth. What is the purpose of microneedling? Why would one microneedle the skin? And why is it not a great thing that these are for sale on every shop corner? A street corner.
Well, the cosmetic needling, which you guys call microneedling in Europe, is something that's sort of like aerating your lawn to get more fertilizer in. Is getting more medicine into your skin, making more accessible. As you said before, your stratum corneum becomes more compact and less permeable the healthier your skin is. So we need a way, a portal, and they're so tiny. You want to roll many holes, so they're not painful, 0.1, 0.2, but the idea is to get a lot of holes so you have more product perfusion. With the needling at 1 millimeter, that is totally different. It's releasing platelets with growth factors, and it's a molecular wound healing cascade with a unique signature that's scarless wound healing. So that's the difference. You need both, actually. Yes. That's a clinical treatment. The microneedling, cosmetic needling is your home treatment. And the synergy of all of those things is just really what is going to give you the best results. I mean, outstanding results. Yeah. And it's the slow way, right? The right way. You don't get a 6-pack overnight. Your skin doesn't change overnight, right?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely, for sure. Yeah, and there is that rush for that instant result, but you have to put the work in, and it's the daily disciplines every day that lead to long-term health gain slowly over time.
Yeah, there's a thing that I've kind of latched onto, which it took me a while to say, oh, well, this is what it is. To make a change, a physiologic change to normalize a cell doesn't happen overnight. A physical change would be something like you put a bunch of hyaluronic acid on and rolled a lot and your skin looks, a little plumper. That's just a physical change. So we need that physiologic change, and then we can do whatever we want, as long as we have that basis there. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So tell me, what is a typical day in your life, Shawna? What does that look like? Are you still practicing or?
Yeah. So, I had some very tragic things happen in my family last year. So I'm just trying to get those all sorted. But the thing is, I still have my practice. I am doing education for Derma Concepts, and I'm working on a couple other little projects. So yeah, I live in Charleston with my husband, and my son is a senior in high school. So.
Wow, fabulous. And tell me I
travel a lot.
I'm sure. And tell me, what was your inspiration behind writing this book, The Skin Science Warrior? What I feel like for me, it would be the frustrations in the industry.
The same as you.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking the same thing. It was just wanting to bring it back to the professional, wanting the public to know the truth and to know what's happened, compromise in our industry. That's really what I want. I was just sick of it. I was tired of complaining to my own patients about it every day. I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to write a book.
Yeah.
So that's what I did.
Was it a long, did it take you long to write, or tell me, was it easy or?
Well, so I was like, if I write this and Fern Row Publishing does not publish it, I'm not going to do it. I said, it doesn't make any sense to me. So I sent Jenny Monroe a draft, and she liked it, but she said it needed surgery. So the book itself, like a lot of the information I had over the years, so that part of it was kind of intact. It was putting it together and making it, putting all the different pieces in. It took us about 2 years, 2 years.
Okay. Wow. Yeah. It is a long project. So it was kind of a COVID project, was it?
Yeah, actually, middle COVID. It was 2021. Yeah, so we were just getting back of it. And now I'm working on a project with her for needling for skin therapists. Because they have the patient tutorial, which is why you need needling, and then Dr. Elf's book, the fabulous medical book. But there's nothing in between, and there's so much misinformation that probably drives you crazy, right? With needling.
Absolutely. And it is still the greatest treatment. It really is.
It is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yes, yeah.
So tell me, Shawna, where can people find you? And most importantly, where can people buy this book?
So I do have a website that you can go to. It's www.skinsciencewarrior.org. And you can purchase them there. I am currently getting a new social media person that is going to help me, because I don't know really anything about it. So you will be seeing more and more things coming soon. Probably this fall, but that's what it is. And I'm just like you. I want to just get the right information out. Yeah. And this is such a great thing you're doing, Corinna, to share. I mean, you're so knowledgeable. It's amazing. I just really was so excited to work with you today, because I was yay. So this is the thing, is I think just getting the word out in whatever way we can, and really protecting the patient, patient focus. That's really what we've lost.
Yeah. Protecting the patient,
it's all pocket focus,
and also protecting our industry. I feel I was born into this industry. My mom was working in this industry from when I was 2 years old. I feel I owe this industry, and this industry, first of all, has 99.999% women in it, and also most of our clientele are women. So I feel I'm doing it for women. I want to empower women. I want to give the right message across. I am a girl's girl. I'm a girl mom. I just want us women to come together and feed us the right information, and not have it driven by commercialism, but have it driven by truth and by integrity.
Yeah, and then that's the only way. I mean, you never can go wrong with the truth and the ethics and integrity, and that's really what I think keeps people forever. I mean, I think just my character was one reason why people stood with me for so many years, even though I didn't have the right information. But now they're like, oh my God,
Yeah. Yeah, me too. And like I said, it's a very noisy arena right now. But, I have people reach out to me. I have people reach out to me that have gone through years under care of medics and not had any success. And within weeks of working with me and working with my modalities, having great success and starting to see skin health emerge. I think it's important to realize that medicine is not always the answer, particularly if there's no illness. I often say medicine and dermatology is for the sick. I'm for skin health.
Yes. Yeah. No, that's so, because I think there's a lot of missing information in that gap. Like dermatologists, diseases of the derm, right? It's a whole different arena that really hasn't been given the respect and science that it actually has.
Yeah.
It's an organ. It has biochemistry. It has physiology. So where is it?
Yeah.
That's what does provided us.
Well, I really want to see those two industries collaborate, as you spoke about in your book.
Yes.
And I think that is where the real magic will happen, when we see that collaboration of medicine and skin health, of skin therapists and dermatologists, on an equal partnership and an equal playing field. But you at times may need the script pad, and at times you may need that medicinal approach as well, and that holistic approach.
That's why Dr. Winchell, I spoke about him so much, because he could not be without us. We were just as elevated, and he would bow to me every morning when I came in. And, it was just such a beautiful relationship because he understood the importance of healthy skin to have his business be successful. Yeah. That's absolutely. A walking billboard. This canvas here. Yeah, that's what people are looking at.
Yeah, absolutely. Shawna, thank you so much for your time here today. It's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you. And thank you so much for providing my listeners with all this incredibly important and vital information.
Thank you. I mean, I learned from you too, and during this time, and I absolutely am excited. We should do this again.
Yes.
And talk about other things. So it's super fun.
Yeah. And when you have your social media up and running, we'll come on and we'll do maybe an Instagram live.
Oh, that'd be
it'd be really exciting. Really exciting. Shawna, thank you so much for your time, and you have a lovely day. My day is coming to an end, but yours is only beginning, and I hope you have a really lovely day.
Well, I had a great start, so thank you so much.
My pleasure.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay.
Well, I hope you enjoyed today's episode as much as I enjoyed creating it. I hope you were truly motivated and inspired, as I too was. Thank you, as always, to Lusotan, our sponsors, for allowing me to bring you this incredible information. Without them, it would not be possible. And of course, to Skin Science Warrior herself for being such a champion. Thank you so much, Shawna. You will find Shawna at Skin Science Warrior on Instagram, and there are links there to purchase her book, but I will also attach links to the caption of today's episode. If you enjoyed today's episode, and if you were truly inspired and, like me, want to get the truth out there about skin and skin health, well, then I would be delighted if you were to share this episode with your friends and family. That's how we grow. But of course, as well, if you're a professional account, which I know many of you are listening to Skin Deep by Karina Tolan, I actually think this would be a super plan for you to share it with your clients, so that they realize the work that they are doing at home when they use these incredible formulations, the huge favor that they are doing for their skin, and so that they also know what a champion you are for introducing them to these formulations. You take care. Until next time, I will be back very, very soon with some more amazing episodes. I hope you're having as much fun as I am and enjoying Skin Deep. Until then, you take care.